finishing up our E3 coverage. We've got the developer DayZ here, and we're going to talk to him about ArmA III and their plans for the mod in the future. One of the big questions we have right now is what exactly are your plans? What are the upgrades coming with ArmA III that's going to take DayZ to the next level?
Yeah, well, I mean, ArmA III has been announced with a slight delay, so you're looking at a 2013 release. I can't speak for Bohemia Interactive, even though I kind of work, for Bohemia Interactive. I can only speak for like me and what my thoughts are. But I've made no secret since the start that I want to see it as a standalone item, because I think at the moment it's kind of swamping the ArmA II browser. It's really hard to find an ArmA II game, so that's non-DayZ. So we need to remove the barrier from the mod being so difficult to play. So at the moment it's hard to install because you've got to install this, that, and the next thing. So I think we need to simplify the install, make it a one installer, very easy to get access to, get on, play it, and I think following sort of the Minecraft type model of easy to enter, cheap alpha is a good model to go for.
Now with that, are you planning to do a free-to-play model with cash shop, or are you going to do a Steam sale system similar to ArmA?
Well, look, I don't know. I mean, I've been begging free-to-play for ages, and I've got a bit of stick from it from guys coming over from some of the other big studios saying, hey, come on, you should think about free-to-play. I've got reservations about it, but I'm prepared to be proven wrong. Like, I just think the important thing is to not have I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but not have a silly revenue model. It's got to have a good revenue model. This is a grassroots game. I didn't go out and buy the 100,000 Steam copies. The community did. So whatever happens, it's got to be something that makes sense to me. But it's also got to be sustainable. Like as a mod, it's got 175,000 players. So it's not really sustainable for too long. The central server, if we move into cloud architecture, you're talking about big money. Like, you look at the World of Tanks, those guys, it's big money. So we need to do something with it. And as to what that is, we don't know yet. But we're talking with a lot of people, seeing what we can do to get something out. I just think it's really important that whatever model it is, it makes sense. So I sort of feel bad for ripping into free-to-play, because it does work, like World of Tanks, and that. So we'll just have to see. I'm really cautious about it.
Makes sense. In terms of the content itself, there's already so many guns in this mod. Are you guys going to be expanding on that? Are you going to be adding more animals into the game? What's your plans?
Well, at the moment, it's a full conversion for ArmA II that uses as much ArmA II as it can. But what I'd like to do is to turn it into its own thing that uses some ArmA II content. And if we do that, then we can make sure that the content that's in there is specific and relevant to the DayZ experience. So the map, Generous, is designed for ArmA II. There's not many integral buildings and things like that. If we could get to a position where there's more integral buildings and the map is very specific for the experience, then that would be a great thing. But there's obviously lots of barriers to cross.
Are you planning on expanding the map or adding new areas of the world into it?
Well, again, I can't speak for BIS. I have to speak for what my dreams and aspirations are, and there's limits to that. But I think about things as if I was buying it, right? So if I was buying DayZ, what would I want? I would want more content, bigger maps, more integral buildings. I'd want tidier, cleaner features, easier to find a server, and you've cleaned up and really just tidied up and polished. That's what I'd want, and a low price point. So I think if that's what I'd want, then that's a reasonable thing to expect. But whether we can deliver that, I don't know. We need to answer a lot of questions before that.
So in terms of player versus player interaction, right now you've got the survivors and you've got the thugs that try and take them out. Have you ever considered entering into players and zombies?
Yeah, we've thought about it, but I think diluting the message is difficult. I think, particularly at the moment, let's say we're trying to aim to go from mod to game, we've got to keep that transition is very difficult to do. So we've got to be really careful, and make sure we're doing that properly. And so I think diluting the message and from doing all these crazy features, then we're going to be very careful about doing it. So it's something that maybe we could look at for later, but I think really I want to just keep focused on the experience that we're developing.
Another big thing that a lot of games are coming out right now is dynamic events. And you can really do some things with that in the game. Do you have any plans for that?
Yeah, well, I think that's how to keep it fresh. That's part of trying to move it from mod to game. The monetization system, there's advantages to all the different kinds. Obviously, the ultimate plan is a monthly pay system. But I think that really restricts your market, and it restricts a lot of people who I think would like to pay for it. Because that gives you money to develop it, it gives you money to pay for more service and do lots of dynamic events. Free to play, it gives you a bit of that, because it means that you are getting a constant revenue stream. And the one-time payment, unfortunately, that restricts your money, and it means that every time you want to run a dynamic event, you're going to have to create something. So I don't know. It's kind of like developing it. I was really harsh. If the feature wasn't right, and I ripped it out, and I tried and tried and tried. So I think maybe with the monetization system, the same method needs to be applied. We need to find one that works for it. Because I'd love to do like dynamic events and have that kind of stuff in there. But then, how do we make sure that's funded? Maybe we could do it through the community. I don't know. And then it could be free. So
just have it like automated type system.
Yeah,
like
or something like that. Yeah. Like so. There's answers there, but you know, I don't know what those answers are. Yeah.
Well, it was great talking to you. It's a great way to finish up the E3 show, and we're looking forward to ArmA III and DayZ.
Yeah, definitely.